Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you another video. Of course, we're going to be doing my top 5 worst costumes of 2018. So I did the best costumes. If you haven't seen that video already, please definitely go watch that one first before you watch this one, so you understand kind of where I've put all the costumes. Now, any costumes that I didn't mention in either videos, of course, are just kind of in the middle. So, you know, those costumes are meh. So, they're meh costumes. Okay, so I do want to say also, all my Walking Dead game videos are finished for now, at least till March, so you don't have to worry about them. But the profiles are continuing. But anyway, and I know I keep apologising, and I'm not apologising this time, but I'm just saying that I'm just informing you the game ones are finished. Okay, so let's get into the list with our first dishonourable mention, and this one goes to, on our only dishonourable mention I want to add, and this one goes to Water Baron Burns. So yeah, I don't heavily dislike this costume. I think it's okay. I just think comparing it to the others, it was pretty much a mix-up of what I was gonna put on the dishonorable mention. It was pretty much between, I wasn't gonna put General Bart because I quite liked that one. So it was pretty much just between Count Grandpa, a few other costumes, and this. I nearly revealed what all the other costumes. But yeah. This dishonorable so yeah, I just think that this costume was okay. It wasn't too bad. I don't think it really stood out too much. I think it could have been an animation on its own. It didn't have to be a costume. And I don't know. Nothing really wows me too much about this costume. So I put it on dishonorable mention. It's not a terrible costume, but yeah, I just didn't think. I think it deserves to be mentioned anyway as a. Not a great costume anyway. So yeah, that's my first dishonourable mention. That was a bit of a ramble, I do apologise. And then we'll get to number 5. So before I tell you number 5 though, Spring King predicted every single one. He didn't predict them in the right order, or I don't really know if he was doing, I don't know, he might have done them in the right order. He didn't really give me an order, but he predicted all 5. So Spring King, you already know what's already on this list. But number 5 goes to Prepper Lindsay Neagle, or Neagle. So yeah, Prepper Lindsay Neagle, or Neagle, or whatever, however the heck you say it, Neagle. Yeah, I didn't really like this costume. Now, the reason I'm not putting it higher is mainly because it is her first ever costume, and I think giving characters costumes is really cool. I would like every character to have at least one costume in the game. I don't want a character to have more than 15 though. Like Homer, well, actually, I don't want a character to have more than 5, with the exception of Homer, Bart, you know, the main characters, and then the main Simpsons, and then also maybe Mr. Burns and Ned Flanders, you know, those kind of main recurring ones. But someone like Lindsay, I don't want to have more than 5, but I would like her to have 1. So I was really glad that she got 1. So that kind of, the fact that it's her first costume, but I feel like that is cheating a little bit, so I wasn't gonna leave it off the list because of that, but I thought I'd put it down a little bit. I don't think this costume is particularly amazing at all. It doesn't really have a very interesting questline whatsoever. It's just boring. The animations are meh. They're very meh. They're not that great. And yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of this one. I'm not a massive fan of Lindsay's character, really. She's okay. I did want her to be added into the game, and she was one of my most requested characters before she was added. But that was mainly just because she's such a big character that, you know, she's such a recurring character that I wanted to see her in the game. But yeah. Overall, I think this costume wasn't too great, so yeah, it gets number 5. Anyway, number 4 goes to Undercover Hoover. So yeah, Undercover Hoover. Yeah, this is a difficult one for me, because I kind of like this one in some ways, but then another way, it's this, as far as I'm pretty aware, because I've been rewatching The Simpsons, as far as I'm aware, this costume comes from a picture in The Simpsons. It comes from just a picture that they showed as a little gag. I'm pretty sure anyway, because I rewatched the episode, and that's what, not the episode that Hoover's in, but the one where you see him in the dress. And yeah, it seems to be just a picture, so it has nothing to do with the episode. It wasn't a big part, I don't think, so it was just the costume itself isn't that memorable whatsoever from the actual Simpsons. Saying that, that's not necessarily a terrible thing, because I don't mind it if they take something and then explore with it, but I don't think they really did much with it. I feel like the focus was mainly on Hoover. They did do a quest line for his costume, but it just felt like they threw the costume in, you know, to make the deal more expensive. It didn't feel like they really put much care into the costume whatsoever. I do think it looks kind of cool. It looks kind of funny, just him walking around this big, you know, big overweight guy just walking around in a dress, and it's so obvious. It's like he's not even trying to look like a woman or whatsoever. But you know, I found it a little bit amusing, but I feel like they could have done so much more with his costume, and they really didn't. So yeah, I feel like number 4 is a fair place for it. So yeah. And then number 3, I've put Wear Milhouse. So a lot of people like this costume. I just don't. And I don't really like any, I feel like Martin is the worst character. Martin or the Squeaky Voice Teen have the worst costumes. But I feel like Milhouse has a few bad ones too. Like, I feel like his Fallout Boy one is not great. This one I don't think is particularly great either. It just doesn't look that amazing when he's walking around Springfield. Now, some of the animations are okay. I do like some of the animations. I think the quest line was dull. I don't think it's very good at all. But just the look of it's not very appealing. It just looks boring. It doesn't look very exciting whatsoever. And I didn't like the quest line. It was free, so that that at least doesn't put it any more. But I mean, there's nothing about this costume that really is rememberable. Like Mummy Wiggum, I remember, even though I didn't get it. And that shows you. Like, I don't really remember what this costume. I don't remember. It's not a very memorable costume whatsoever. And I think. I just think they could have done so much better with something other werewolf related. I can't really think of something, but there surely must have been something better. It's a shame that we got Werewolf Flanders earlier, because that would have been a cool costume to get instead. But yeah, Wear Milhouse, I just didn't think it was very good. I think there's better werewolves in the game. That being Werewolf Flanders. So yeah, Flanders. So yeah, I put him there. But I do recognise that some people really like this costume, so I think that's fair. It's just my opinions, really. But anyway, number 2 goes to the Squeaky Voiced Attendant. So yeah, speaking of Squeaky Voiced Teen, I'm giving this to him. I mean, again, I just find this costume boring. I'll be honest. I feel like it's just, there's nothing exciting about it whatsoever. It's just the quest line. Oh my god, the quest line was a drag. I couldn't be arsed even playing it. If you go back and watch my premium gameplay on this costume, you can see how bored I am. Like, I was like, I don't care about this. It was just boring. Now, okay, I understand the reason they added it. Of course, it was in the Etchy and Scratchy event. It was meant to be, him from the episode, I think, anyway, and he was meant to, of course, be the attendant. But I just think it. Now, it kind of comes like, it's kind of like this costume's set to fail from the beginning, and I do think that's, that is something that is true, and I feel like I'm a bit mean to put it as number 2, but it really just isn't that exciting. There's nothing I like about it. Like, it's just boring, and they constantly reuse the text icon. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they constantly reuse the text icon for the costume now, when they're doing something, when Squeaky Voice Teen is meant to be working somewhere. They just reuse that text icon. That annoys me too, and I blame the costume for that. But yeah, I just don't really like the costume too much. There's nothing exciting about it. I mean, the questline was boring. The animations are okay, I guess. They're not too bad, but there's just nothing exciting about it. And plus, it was donuts as well. If it was free, I may have given it the benefit of the doubt and given it the free spot or the number 4 spot. But it was donuts too, so it deserves to be number 2. But yeah, anyway, number 1. Can we have that drum roll? Of course, it goes to Butterfly Maggie. So, yeah, you guys probably predicted this. I think everyone probably knew that I was going to put Butterfly Maggie here, especially after my top 10 characters. When I'm going to be honest, every year they do this. These characters, these costumes, I'm going to take this into consideration. So, of course, Butterfly Maggie was super premium. It was in the zoo update. And it's basically just her as a butterfly, and it's kind of got like a sort of anime style to it, I want to say. It does look pretty cool, I'll give it that. I think this is probably, in terms of looks, this is one of Maggie's cooler looking costumes, definitely. I think it's up there with Outland's Maggie in terms of looks, but it's super premium, so I've just got to give it number 1. I'm sorry, I'm going to give every costume that does this, especially costumes, I'm gonna give it worst cost. Like, I'm gonna give it a bad review because I don't like the super premium things. Now, I'm fine with what they did with Svengali. What they did with Svengali, I'm okay with, as long as they guarantee that that's gonna happen. So basically, Svengali, we got him around about the start. Well, around about like, was it March, April, whenever the Springfield Jobs update was, and then come Black Friday, they gave us for him for donuts. I'm okay if they do that, but they have to do it with every single item. That I'm not too bothered with. And if they were to do that, I'd probably put Butterfly Maggie a little lower. I'd probably just have her being an honourable mention, actually, dishonourable mention, because I don't actually mind the costume too much in terms of, like the quest line I don't think is that great, so I don't think it's going to be getting best thing. I think maybe dishonourable mention would have been a fair, if it wasn't super premium, that is. Yeah, I feel like the quest line's not great. Some of the animations are really cool. I'll give it that. I think the animations are pretty decent. And yeah, the look is pretty cool. But the super premium price just means that it gets number one. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna be a Scrooge about it, because and it's not even the fact like regardless of the fact that I can get someone to hack the game for me and get it for me to free, that doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, what they've done is what they've done. So yeah, it's just I don't like it, so I'm gonna call them out on it, and yeah, it gets number one worst costume. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment and subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on what you think the top 5 worst costumes are. You may disagree with me. I already know that a few people are going to disagree with me, but hey ho, that's just how it goes. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.